Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 7th, 2021. We're just coming out of our long 3-day weekend for Labor Day, so I hope everybody enjoyed that few days off there. And now here we are back to the markets, and things are looking a little bit like they did. Actually, if we go back here, many of you will remember back to this sideways channel that we got in back at the end of July, where we had pushed to, whoops, I moved that there. We pushed to these new, I believe they were all new all-time highs at the time, and then we just stuck in a sideways chop for about 10 days. Well, if we go ahead and scroll up to the last week of price action here, we're basically in the same situation where we've been kind of chopping, definitely trending a little bit higher here with each coming day. A little bit of a higher low, in some cases here a slightly higher high. So you can see I just kind of outlined here this general trend channel that we're in right now, and I also threw up the market profile just to kind of take a look, see where the point of control is for the last 7 days of price action, which is sitting right around 45.27 here. So ideally today we can either jump out above the highs here around 47, 48, get out of that chop zone, or break below here and get below that 45.10 area. So we'll have to see what they do this morning. So let's go ahead and jump to our ultra high time frames here, get our pre-market analysis going, and see what the charts have to say coming into essentially the first week of September here. First full week of September. So we get into our quarterly chart here. Quarterly chart looks very strong, no signs of exhaustion, as we've said for quite a while, and same exact thing on the monthly. We get down to the weekly. We did have this bar close last Friday afternoon, and got no signs of exhaustion from that close. So everything on the weekly here looking very strong, with no signs of exhaustion. Up on our daily chart here, we did have the bearish indication from the September 3rd high. So that was going into this weekend. We had a little bit of a bearish indication. I guess you could argue that there was a little bit of, let me fix that. There's a little bit of a pullback there where we made a high around 48. It pulled back to about 39, 38 there, and then into Monday, and the Globex did pull all the way back to about 23, so maybe about 20, 25 point pullback there, and now we're still, again, essentially stuck in the sideways chop that we've been in since about the last day of August going into the beginning of September here. So one bearish indication all the way back from Friday. And then currently really not much to be said off the yesterday's candle, which was our kind of, I guess you could say, kind of like a shortened market. It was open for a few hours in the morning, closed, and then reopened for Globex with this new candle. So right now all we have is this bearish indication on the daily off the all-time high. When we get down to our 4-hour here, we have the same bearish indication back on September 3rd. And then you can see that yesterday we actually did get a bearish divergence off of the previous daily high. So the high that we made in yesterday's market gave a 4-hour bearish signal. Can't really see anything like that on the daily, but we do see it down here on the 4-hour chart. Now, just like we've been seeing in these sideways markets here, pretty much a lot of conflicting information. Got the bearish signal. Let me go ahead and mark that right off that previous daily high. But then we also got bullish indications on pretty much every pullback and every low that we got. So we also have the bullish indication off our overnight low. So again, being in this type of situation, we're not seeing a huge confluence of signals right now just because of the situation we're in. So it might be one of those mornings where this kind of analysis does not really get us much closer to any kind of truth as far as what's happening in the market. We can see here on the 60-minute, also got the bearish indications off the previous daily high, and then essentially the same bullish indications off the overnight low. So remember we've been saying that we do this morning analysis so that we can get somewhat of an idea of where the market is going based on a preponderance of signals pointing to one direction. And when we don't have that, then things become a lot more conditional. We have to essentially kind of set up levels that we want to see hold in order for certain scenarios to take place. And this is essentially where we are this morning. We don't have a very strong indication of a particular direction outside of the fact that we are continuing to make these higher lows overall, and then arguably made a higher high at least on some of the days here. So there is that somewhat of a bullish overall argument that could be made, but from our divergent signals, we don't really have anything too clear here coming into this morning. Let's go down to our intermediate time frames and see, it's probably going to be the same thing. Let me take this market profile off. Again, that point of control, so the area where the market spent the most amount of time selling contracts was right there at 45.27, at least for the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that half day and half of this day. So about 7 days worth of price action. So looking to the 30-minute here, we did get agreement on that bearish indication from the previous daily high. And right now, we do see the bullish indication from the previous daily low. And then I would argue that we don't have a very clear bullish signal right now off of the overnight low. So although we did see a bullish signal on the 4-hour and the hourly, we do not see that on the 30-minute off the overnight low here. And right now, in the most local area of price, you can see we got that bearish indication that has now led to just about a 5-point pullback so far. And let's go back to our 10-minute here. Take a look at what it's saying. Essentially, we do also have the bearish indication off the previous daily high. You can see that the price had pushed to this higher high. Overall has pushed to this lower high on RVI. So there is an argument that could be made there, maybe even from that previous high back, let's see, back over here. So a little bit of a bearish indication there on the 10-minute. And then from the overnight low, I don't think there's really much of a divergence indication there. So I think this morning what we're seeing is we don't have enough agreement off the overnight low to give us indications that we can expect a strong bounce off the overnight low for a continued push higher. So just going off the signals that we have this morning, we have a little bit more of a bearish case, keeping in mind the whole context of the market right now. So I hope that helps you guys kind of coming into this morning. I know it's not going to be one of those mornings where the stars align, we have a really clear picture, and then the market follows through in the direction of that picture. It's just going to be one of those situations that we're stuck in a lot of sideways conflicting information. So we'll jump down to our short time frame charts here, see if there are any opportunities that present themselves this morning. We do have some decent levels above and below us to potentially play off, but what I would really kind of argue here this morning, if we jump back to a little bit of a larger perspective here on the chart, since we're essentially in this zone, and we talked about these chop zones here, highlighted with this grayish box here, being anywhere from about 45.10, 45.16 here, up to the highs that we've made right around 45.46. I know it's a large zone, and there's lots of opportunity in here for trades, but this is going to be a very kind of messy area if you catch what I'm saying. And so ideally, like I said, we'll get outside of this zone, jump to the upside, or maybe get a pullback into some deeper retracement levels, maybe down into this 4,500 area, or deeper, and we can get into some of those levels if the market starts to pull back. Remember, we talked about this retracement scheme from last week. When we made this push all the way back from August 19th, pushed all the way up, got this little bit of a correction. It was maybe a 25 or less percent correction. We pulled back and we bounced off that low there on August 26th. We got this push from the low of August 26th to the all-time high up here, which I believe was made, on Friday. We do have this retracement scheme. 38% brings us right back into this 12 to 16 area right here. And then 61.8 would bring us right back into this area that really hasn't been tested, right around 44.9650 here. So we do have this low level just below as well. So somewhere around this 92.50 to 96.50 right in here